Do things that scare you. Do things that scare you. And I'm saying that as I start this podcast. Welcome back, Mind Willie Podcast, a podcast. Focus on beating the hell out of your negative voice. Norense Odiase is this nice, beautiful, chocolate dog. 6'9" brother from Nigeria. No, I'm not. By way of Dallas. But my parents are Nigerian, so I am Nigerian. But anyways, this is a podcast. Focus on beating the hell out of your negative voice. Your self-critic, your inner narrative that says that you can't run forward in life, that you have no purpose in life, that you have no value in life. There's a podcast where I overcome that voice. Now, straight into it, I'm starting this and I'm on live. I'm doing this on IG Live as well, just to challenge myself and just jumping into the episode. That's what this is about. I think in life, right? We have goals, we have dreams, we have visions, we have things that we want to accomplish. And we see that as far out, as far ahead, and it has to be steps that are taken to get to that far ahead stage. This is one of those steps for me. For me, whenever you set your sight and set your mind on doing something, it's Monday morning. Literally, I've had 3 hours of sleep, literally, because long story short, I had 3 hours of sleep and I was tossing and turning into dreams and things happen in life. But I'm saying this. When you wake up on a Monday morning and you open up your eyes and you sell your dreams to the job that you're on, and the job that you're on, you're in 9 to 5, you're providing, you got kids, you got a family, you are focused in that regard. But the question becomes, where is the other time to organize your life towards the dreams that you want? When is the other time that you have to actually discipline yourself, throw yourself into uncomfortable situations and circumstances to build the dream in your life? I'm doing that right now. And I think just to start, it's powerful to know that you have a choice every single day. You have a choice in this life. You have a choice to push yourself. And in this new year, in this new time of our life, we think the next stage is just going to come. Like, to get somewhere new, we actually have to do something new. And the new, most of the time, all of the time, is uncomfortable. It's not going to be comfortable. It's not going to be nice. It's not going to be, oh, I feel great doing this and I'm just achieving the dreams that I want. It's not going to happen that way. And I've found myself sometimes being comfortable. And one would look at one's schedule and be like, that's not comfortable. You write every day, you read every day. I have like a million notepads as sticky notes that look crazy. But I've learned in my background and my disposition, if you will, is I've been playing sports all my life. And from an early age, obviously I grew up in a Nigerian background. And in my background, there's this value that says, okay, the job title that you get, that's my successful son. My son did it. He became a doctor, an engineer. That's what is valued. And just to start, obviously I'm already starting, but this is how I talk. Hello. If you don't like it, toodaloo. But to continue on, our culture, the culture that you grow up in, the society that you grow up in, has a opportunity to shape the values that you stand in now. Why am I saying that? What does that mean? It's what you value. For me, being successful. Okay, so you strive to be successful from sports, from life itself. Work should equate to worth. It does not work like that. And I realized that in my life. But the negative voice, the limiting voice, the narrative in my head says, if you're going to do a podcast, you actually have to speak in words that no one's ever heard before in life. And if you're going to go live, you actually have to ask all the questions. You got to do it every single day. You got to work. You got to improve. You got to write 10 pages a day. You got to read the Bible for hours. And I leave myself drained. Perfectionism is crippling. It has the opportunity to strip you away from you. It has the opportunity for you to get so burnt out, for you to not see the gift that is you. And to another extent, I have friends that we've had conversations, and maybe they're not lazy. And they're not lazy. And I had the conversation with a friend. I was like, you're not lazy. You're in fear. It's the fear that's keeping you stuck. And so on one end, somebody can agree with this identity that, oh, I'm just lazy. Let me stick in this. And on the other end, someone like me can, oh, perfect. Grind, grind, grind. That makes me great. Like we identify ourselves with these high performance, go, go, go. And well, I just don't care. I'm soft life, a soft living. And we have the opportunity to get out of that. And if that doesn't make sense, who cares? And it's the negative voice in my head that says, oh, you got to make disclaimers all the time. I yielded. I'm not going to lie. But I have a choice to push past against that. What am I saying? I'm saying there's these two modes, even more than these two modes of the label that you put on your life, that you chain your identity to. But to get to another stage in life, you actually have to break that chain. To get to another stage in life, you actually had to surround yourself with people, with ideas, with the right suggestion that can suggest you on the future that is for you. But it's interesting because in moments like this, when I wake up, my mind loud, telling me of all the things that I have yet not to do, I have not done yet. I haven't wrote. I haven't done this. I haven't done this. So I wake up and I write, and it's still not clicking. I'm still, I got to put out an episode because if I don't put out the episode at 5 a.m., what's going to happen? And it's interesting because for me, I value consistency, and that's good in all of our lives. Like whatever you repeat, that's your reputation. Like repetition builds reputation. So, okay, I want to become this. Oh, I want to do this. I want to build a brand, a clothing brand. I want to become a singer, an all-star artist. It's about the repetition and the failure and the failure and the failure and the failure and the failure. And they don't tell you something about failure. They don't tell you about the thoughts that will come in your head, race in your head that you're worthless. You have no purpose in this life. You look stupid. Nobody cares about what you're doing. You're not making an impact. You're not touching any lives. You're not serving people. Look at you. Look at you. You're just doing it for you. You don't make any sense. You look stupid. And then when somebody comments on what you're doing while you're in a development stage, you start to second guess the gift that God placed inside of you. You start to ask yourself, why did you make me like this? Why can't I be like this? Why can't I be like her? She seems to have a great life. Why can't I be like him? He seems to have a great life. And you fix your lips to curse God on how he made you. In those moments, the enemy is winning in our lives. And I even hesitated right there because it's like, ew, I don't even like to say that. But in those moments, when we yield to anxiety, when we yield to fear, when we yield to depression, when we yield to intrusive thoughts, when we start to look at the evidence down the lens of, oh, maybe I am worth less than the next man. Maybe God forgot to put in everything he put into them. Maybe I don't have any physical or natural, or I don't have the capacity to hold and to obtain the dreams that I want. It's dangerous when you get to that mode of thinking, when you get into that track of thinking, because whatever you feed upon, it builds your faith. It strengthens your faith. It fortifies your faith. Whatever you stand in, whatever you recite, whatever you go on in your head, you have these rules that you play your life to, but those rules have regulations. Those regulations are, well, the dreams that I think that I want, I can't, because I can't is what I've seen my entire life. I can't. I won't. I don't. I shouldn't. But the question becomes, why do you want to? Like, why do you actually want to inside? Like, why is the fire and the desire and the drive and the fervor going crazy on the inside of you? Like, why, when you see somebody else, you get inspired and you want to sing and lash out and do the crazy things that they're doing? You want to be that confident. Oh, I wish I was that confident. Oh, I wish I was that bold. Then why aren't you? It's asking a different question. It's asking yourself a different question. Because here's the lesson. You will never grow. You will never go to the place that you know that's for you if you don't start asking those questions. Instead of the question of, why did you make me like this, God? Why? It's not the right question. And then we have the opportunity, again, to act like that feeling, that emotion, those thoughts aren't there. And then using the church as an example, you go to the church and you say, I almost fell in this chair. I ain't gonna lie, because I got my knees on this chair. Obviously, you can't see it and you can't feel it on the live. But anyways, we go to these churches. I grew up in faith all my life. And you mention an emotion and a thought that's in your head. It's an intrusive thought. Maybe you wanted to jump off somewhere. Maybe your friend, this is a dark example, but a lot of people, there's people, and I've had people in my life that, whether former teammates taking their life, but you almost, there's this thought that says, it just instantly jumps into your mind, and then you downplay it like, oh, that's just normal. No, it's not normal, but you're not abnormal. It's the enemy planting thoughts in your mind. And so at the negative times or the trying experiences that you're going through in your life, those thoughts are much louder. And when you start yielding and you have no guard up, you have no defense mechanism up, I am like a soldier in the army and nothing's just going to come in my way and I'm just going to start taking it. When you have no guard up, you're food, you're exposed. And before in my life, I've had this podcast 3 years, and there's times where I like danced around this in a soft approach, not like your actual food, because this is how I talk to myself, and so this is how I'll share with you. Maybe it's not the nicest, but it's the truth, and I know the truth, not your truth, not my truth, the truth sets us all free. So your food, and from somebody like me, urban community, Fort Worth, Texas, big brolic, 6'9", I'm like, I ain't food for nobody. I ain't sweet for nobody. I'm not finna be food. I'm finna work. I'm finna grind. And it becomes high performance anxiety. But the problem is the emotions are still there. And so what you do is you suppress the emotions. You try to push them down and push them down and push them down and stuff them in the closet instead of addressing it. Instead of addressing the thoughts that you've been having, you say, no, I'm gonna work harder. I'm gonna work harder, as if that's gonna change the thoughts that come in your head. And it's not even about negative thoughts coming in your head. It's about what you think about them and how the rules that rule your behavior, that govern your behavior, how you live your life by them. And so instead of suppressing them, is to write them down. If you're taking notes, you take out your little notepad, your little sticky note, like in church, you lick your little finger. I don't know. You lick your thumb, you flip to the page, and you write this down. You write down the actual emotion that you're experiencing right now. You write it down. And I'm saying that for me because it's so helpful as someone who's on the journey of emotional intelligence and fluency in the emotions that I'm experiencing. Because every morning I'm like, I don't know how I feel. Hell, I got this little emotions wheel. I go on it. I look at it. But like, how do I feel? What do I mean? Like, what is my experience right now? And it's a challenge to get there at first. But once you keep questioning and you question and you question and you question, you'll get there. But here's the thing. A lot of us stay there. And we know the emotions that we feel. We feel it. We feel sadness. We feel anger. We feel anxiety. We feel the fear. We feel happy. And we just know that about us. And we stop there. But we don't ask why. And that becomes our identity now. That's our identity now. All the emotions, okay, love, joy, surprise, fear, anger, sadness, every single day. And what we agree with in our mind and what we speak out, the manifestation, it starts manifesting itself in our life. Oh, we're anxious, so our hearts just start beating, pumping as we're trying to endeavor into a new lane in our life. But when we sit there and we interrogate, why? What is the thought? Like, where does this come from? In my past, in my history, in my culture, what does this time mean? Why? Why is it that I know that I've already wrote down for this year that I have a dream to do X, Y, Z? And so when I wake up the next morning and I'm trying to get on the journey to do X, Y, Z, why is it that these thoughts are taunting me? Saying, you look silly. I just tried to rhyme. I like rhyming. In my mouth, let me wipe it. I don't know, when you get to talking, there's a side quest, and the side quests usually help. I'm a person, hello. When you get to talking a lot, your mouth gets clammy, and anyways, when you're on this journey into becoming who you've always wanted to, and the path looks unfamiliar, you should actually get excited because it means it's working. Like, the work is working. If I'm in the gym and I'm going to go today and I lift the weight, you see the arm, you feel me? I'm big brolic, like I said. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt every time I curl. Every time I try to, you start doing the wrong form. You start trying to overcompensate because I'm trying to get big. I'm trying to get big. But you don't address, like, bro, you got to go slow. There's a pace in this place that gets you to where you want to go. I'm saying all this to say it's going to feel unfamiliar. It's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to look unfamiliar. It's going to feel uncomfortable. At this very moment, even as you're doing it, my thoughts say, bro, I'm on the live and I haven't even talked to nobody on the live. Bro, I'm doing a podcast right now and I don't even know what I'm talking about. And I ramble and I have the long thoughts and I have all these ideas in my head that go this way. Will somebody understand what I'm saying? All the thoughts still come. They come. But it's about the doing as they come. Has nothing to do with the thoughts that come. They will come because you are in this earthly domain. They will come. You will think you're an idiot half the time. You will think so. And then you will have the opportunity, again, to agree with the people that don't even know what God placed inside of you. And you'll be like, yeah, I'm an idiot. Yeah, I look stupid. And then you'll put your big fat hands in your pockets and do nothing. Oh, hell no. I just got mad because it's the truth. It's the truth because we all get in this mode. As I pick up my water bottle that just fell on the floor after my knee just buckled, we get in this mode where we hear a message like this. Hopefully. But actually, I don't care. But, the pride in you was like, yeah, you would want what you're doing to be purposeful for somebody else. But anyways, let me get back to it. You hear a message like this and you're fired up. You're like, oh, what he's saying, it's right. You're right. Let's go. And then you will turn off your phone, get into your life, get into your day. The same trials of life hit you over the big fat head of yours. I got a big fat head too, so shut up. It will hit you over the head. And then the next morning, you will still live your life the same. So when's it going to change? Like, when is it going to change? And nobody, I've learned this in my experience, nobody's going to tell you, change your life every day. You got it. And the reality of it is, no one should have to. The pain that you are feeling, that nobody else is seeing, the emotional pain, The emotional pain. You sometimes you can't see the manifestations of the emotions you're going through because you're pushing them down. What you're going through that you can't even explain, you can't even fix words to say, that pain should drive you to change. But that can't be the foundation of the change. Because pain will get you to a point to where you're looking at everybody and you're frustrated. You're like, you doubted me, you doubted me, you doubted me, you doubted me. And I've been there too. In life, in basketball, I had no offers in high school. And then I went to a prep school. I say this a lot just as an example, my own best friend, you ain't gonna start at Texas Tech. What do you think you started at Texas Tech? Oh, Texas Tech, y'all ain't won nothing ever. Big 12 champions, Final Four, pro basketball player, jumping with all these things. I'm saying all this to say, people around you, the closest, will doubt you. They will doubt you. And sometimes the way they doubt you ain't just, you can't do that. It's like, you sure you applying? You don't want to apply for that job? When you told them over and over, I don't want that job. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. But honestly, I haven't had that experience for me, but it's hard to have a podcast because you actually have to share your life. It's not hard for me, but in your life, there's other people in your life and you don't want to expose them. But my parents do that to my sisters a lot. But anyways, I'm saying that to say this. There's outside pressures. There's family pressures. There's friends from society. There's friends from your culture, the ideas that you've lived your whole life on. But when you want to grow, there's somewhere you have to go. And you cannot go to that place without a solid foundation. I'm telling you, Jesus Christ is a solid foundation. You understand that? It's called the Ancient of Days. There's nothing new under the sun. People in 2025, you still believe in that? He's called the Ancient of Days. Ancient of Days. Like he lives in a now. Like he knows now as forever. I kind of like that one. That was kind of good. And I'm found even in these times, it's a proving of your faith that produces the endurance. It produces the courageous endurance that defies anything that you face, anything that you see. Count it all joy. Count it all joy. I am joy. I am in joy. I am in joy. I don't wake up and say, check my pulse and my temperature. Am I in joy today? No, I'm in joy. I am in joy. I don't care what I think. I am in joy. Because I know this whole life is a fight for your mind. It's like you're playing capture the flag or stamp the flag rather. And fear wants to stamp its flag and say, this is mine. This is mine. I got another thing for you. This seat's taken. This seat is already taken. This seat is already taken. And I see it with faith, through the eyes of faith. Faith is the evidence. Faith is the substance of things not seen. The evidence, substance of things hoped for. I'm hoping for this, X, Y, Z. The faith, the in-between stage, is a faith fight. So I don't care what evidence you gather. I look at that gathered evidence through the lens of faith. Life. Life is a big fight for our choices. And our choices need to be made not on how we feel. Because our feelings, they flutter. It's nothing like an abnormal pause, because I really get angry at myself sometimes. And that's my challenge too. I like to reflect on how I want to improve as my voice squeals. This perfection thing has been a challenge that I need to get over. Maybe it's not a get over thing. Well, it is, because I am an overcomer. But it's like, why? Well, again, I don't edit these because I think there's a value in showing up as you are, especially in 2025 when everything is curated perfectly, and we got to. I don't live by that, and whatever you put out, you're influencing people, and I don't want to live in a world where we think that we can't show up as like how we are. I literally woke up, I wrote, I fixed my mouth, brushed my teeth, and I turned on the camera. Like that's the lived experience. That's life. And the idea is to inspire you to be you, like be you as you're growing. Because I have a ton of friends, and I just went to church yesterday, and I had these conversations where there's content ideas and there's content that we want to involve ourselves in. Content is the popular thing today, and for good reason. Like it's a digital age to influence people, to get your ideas out, to express yourself. You better open your big fat eyes and press record, press publish. But in saying that, many of us think we can only press publish if it's perfect. Like who told you that perfection is actually a thing? Norense, I'm talking to myself because I see it in different versions in my life of content I want to put out and time I want to put it out and quality and quantity and perfect to where you look at your life from an outside lens and been like, bro, you're yielding to the enemy Satan because you're going to wear yourself out. You're going to burn yourself out. And then the purpose, the value that you want to give to people, you're not doing it that way if you're just jaded and you're sludging through life. And so when we had the conversation about content, I'm like, why is it that the first idea given by God, the creative idea that you have in you, why don't you see it as that? You just see it as, oh, you downplay the things that pop in your head for what? For what? For what? Because you're literally the only you on this planet, and you push down your ideas because they're not in the mold of somebody else. But then then when you put it out and you realize people like it, you run on that instead of the gift that was placed inside of you. Like, instead of working from purpose, working from a why, a passionate why that makes you live this life loud, you live now for validation. And then you lose yourself because you're building content now and you're doing these things and people like it, and that's not yourself. And then part of you wants to grow into this new version of you, but the you that people and how you're projecting people like that. So you're like, I don't know. Choices. You have the precious gift of choice. The Word of God allows us a choice. How do I want to live my life? Do I want to live my life from what this world has for me? Or do I want to live this life, my life, on what the Word has for me? I tell you, the world's too shifty for me. It changes. And you know that. And because you know that, you can address that with how you approach each and every day. There's actually a plan. There's actually words that you need to speak over your life daily. You can't just sit quiet and sit on your hands and think, I'm just going to push through this, because there's no intention. There's no intentionality to the word that your reality is real. I don't know if that makes sense. Who cares? There's no intention behind your decisions. Why? Because you're selling your dreams to your job and you forgot to dream in your life. To set dreams, it takes time. It takes patience. It takes stillness. It takes reflecting. It takes questioning. Spit it out. It takes questioning. It takes interrogation. And then you'll land on something. And the something, the idea, whatever you want to build, it won't be a fully thought out idea. But as you discipline yourself to wake up every morning or whatever time of the day, and you sit with it and you stare at it and you stare at it and you add something to it each and every day, it becomes something that you could have never imagined. Because one, you have the intention to write down your thoughts, to dump out and pour out your heart. But two, you actually, before that, reverse, I don't know what number I'm on, two, but you thought it was valuable to even put your ideas on paper. Like that's a win. That's a dub. That's a dub. It's the first dub. But the time that you say, today it's not worth it. I got to do this job. I got to do all these other things for all these other people that won't pour back into your actual life. That's the moment you start downplaying your ideas and you start living your life for every other person. I don't know about you, but that's not how I want to live my life. God did not make me to be you. God forbid. And he didn't make me to be, or same thing. He didn't make you to be me. But that's why it's beautiful to show up, because we can see ourselves in ourselves. Like you can see and experience your story in what everything I've just shared. And I can do that as I see your content or see your ideas. Hopefully, like I need to see them. Life. If you're in a stage where you continue to downplay who you are and your light and your purpose and what you want in life, you're fuzzy on your goals and you're fuzzy on your faith. You're dwindling on your faith. The only guide, the only tip I can give and I can offer is, before you agree with that negative thought, ask yourself if it's true. Ask yourself that, again, I always say one thing, but I give more. Ask yourself, is this valuable? Is this belief, is this thought serving me? Is this serving who I want to be? Or is this serving the me that I don't want to be? If I do not want to be here, why am I feeding my face and having so much faith in the fear, powered by the person that I do not want to be? And it's not even by you. It's by Satan. It's by Satan. And you are not ignorant of his devices. He comes as, oh, this is my friend for X amount of years, but that man done yielded to the enemy, Satan, without him knowing. Sometimes you know, sometimes you don't. Through your actions, you yield. Then he comes in and he affects them to where they don't see their opportunities, and they're in stages of their life where they're trying and it's tough and they're challenging moments in their life. And then they project their beliefs onto you. And then you start, one, questioning yours and getting mad at them. And so everybody's affected. So when are you going to actually break the chain and say, nah, I'm not fighting against you. I'm fighting against that thing behind you. And that thing, it's in my head. Submit yourself to the word of God and continue to resist every single morning. Resist. And the enemy flees from your life. But he'll come back to your life because we're in this life. But as much as you live this life, it's a life of resisting. Hey, I love you as my voice squeals. If you like anything that you heard in this podcast, do me a favor, rate and review this podcast. It does a lot for me, a lot for this vision and this purpose to inspire people to live with audacity and authenticity, but also to challenge the negative voice that's hindering everything in their life. Do that. Do that for me. Rate and review. Until the next one. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.